I felt a sharp, tearing pain deep inside. I struggled to open my eyes. My body felt weak and heavy. I was like a turtle, flipped on its back. I kicked my legs, but I could not turn over. Finally, I saw the empty bottle on the floor. It was empty. The original girl had chosen to end it all. I forced myself to sit up. I had to vomit. I had to get the poison out of my system. I hit my stomach with my fist. I had to live. I crawled out of the room. The house was huge, but it felt empty. I stumbled down the stairs. A woman sat on the sofa. It was Grandma Beatrice. Her hair was silver and perfectly styled. She looked at me with pure disgust. "Look at you," she sneered. "You look like a total mess. Your clothes are torn. Your face looks like a ghost. You are a disgrace to the Zhu family." I held my chest and pained my breath. "I do not feel well," I said weakly. Grandma Beatrice laughed cruelly. "You never feel well since Mia came back. She did not even care if I was dying. Do not think about leaving. There is food for you here. Just stay quiet and be obedient. Do not cause any more trouble." I could still feel the original girl's despair. She died because no one cared. I nodded slowly. I grabbed my phone and walked out. "Where are you going?" the old woman shouted. "I just need some fresh air," I replied. I knew she would not believe me. I did not care. I walked out of the house. I reached the gate of the complex. I called an ambulance. I collapsed on the ground. Darkness swallowed me whole. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed. My right hand was hooked up to an IV. My stomach still hurt like a knife was twisting inside. A nurse walked in. She saw me awake. "How are you feeling?" she asked. "My stomach hurts," I groaned. The nurse shook her head. "Sleeping pills are the worst way to go. They are not a peaceful sleep. They are pure agony." "You are so young," she said softly. "Why would you do this? Talk to your family. You need to recover and eat well. The poison is gone. You will be fine." I listened to her kind words. I felt a strange warmth. I handed her my phone. "Please help me pay the bill," I said. She did not take the phone immediately. She helped me get up. She held the IV bag and helped me to the bathroom. She did not let go of my arm. She was worried I would fall. She helped me wash my hands. She was so kind, unlike anyone at home. When I returned to bed, I was exhausted. I fell into a deep sleep. I woke up later. Mrs. Higgins was standing by my bed. "You are awake," she said coldly. She poured some water. "Why did you come here alone?" she complained. "You should have told us. Mia just came back to the family. Do you know how bad this looks for the company stock?" I started to laugh. "You care about the stock price?" I asked. She looked confused. "Of course," she said. "Did you buy our stock?" I asked again. She turned pale. "I do not touch that stuff," she stammered. "It is too risky for me." I smiled at her. She was just a gossip. She knew nothing about business. She was just repeating what she heard. Grandma Beatrice told me to stop faking it. "You are a good girl," she said to me. "You should just be obedient. Mia is the real daughter. The family has to love her. If you were smart, you would stop this. They are ignoring you for your own good." I stared at the ceiling. Their good was a cage of lies. But I was not the old Daphne anymore. My new life had just begun. They say blood is thicker than water, but in the Zhu house, blood is just a tool for control. I almost died because of their cold lies. Now, I see the truth behind the curtain. The game has changed completely. "Why should I care about your comfort?" I asked. Mrs. Higgins sneered at me. "The family wants you to stay. Mia is just a bit difficult right now. Everyone is just trying to keep her happy. You are lucky they still feed you. You are just creating drama with these pills. You are not sick. You are just looking for attention." She spoke exactly like Grandma Beatrice. To them, my suicide attempt was just a tantrum. They thought I was just trying to manipulate them. They had no idea what was actually going on. They thought I was pathetic. They thought I was a burden. But I knew better. I knew this family had a dark secret. I was discharged from the hospital 2 days later. Mrs. Higgins picked me up. The kind nurse from before gave me a look. She felt bad that my parents never visited. She thought they were just too busy with work. She told me to forgive them. She said blood ties are unbreakable. I smiled and said nothing. She did not know the truth. She thought this was a normal family drama. She had no idea about the conspiracy. We arrived back at the house. Grandma Beatrice and Mia were laughing in the living room. Mia wore brand new, expensive clothes. She did not even look at me. I walked toward the stairs. Mia stopped me with a cold laugh. "That is not your room anymore," she said. "Your old room is for me. You are moving to the corner on the second floor." Grandma Beatrice nodded in agreement. "Everything is packed," she added. "Go to your new room." I walked to the new room. It was small, dark, and gloomy. It used to be a storage closet. My old room had been a paradise. It had sunlight, a bathroom, and a closet. Now I was pushed into the dark. I began to unpack my things. I saw the clothes they bought me. They were old-fashioned and ugly. I looked at my childhood photos. Something felt wrong. My father, Mr. Zhu, was a genius scientist. My mother, Dr. White, was just as brilliant. They started a massive tech company together. They were always too busy to see me. They sent me to boarding school in middle school. They ignored my pleas to stay home. They said it was to build independence. But now, I saw the truth. They did not love me. They never had. I found 2 old diaries in my things. They were filled with misery and dark dreams. I had tried so many hobbies as a kid. Painting, dancing, piano. I failed at all of them. My parents never cared about my grades. They never showed up to school events. They let me rot in boarding school. They knew. They must have known I was not their daughter. They did not look for their real child. They did not try to have another baby. They just kept me like a prop. It was cold, calculated, and strange. At dinner, my parents were absent again. Mia was furious. "Why are they not here?" she demanded. "They do not love me," she cried. Grandma Beatrice tried to calm her down. "They are scientists," she explained. "They have to work," she added. Mia laughed at my expense. "Daphne is so stupid," she mocked. "She never inherited their intelligence." I laughed along with her. "You are right," I said. "I did not inherit their traits. I decided to take control. I asked to switch my extracurricular classes. I wanted to focus on my studies. Grandma Beatrice allowed it. Mia hated studying and quit after 2 days. I kept going. I used my time wisely. I improved my grades steadily. I knew the clock was ticking. I needed proof. I went to the testing center on Sunday. I had the samples in my bag. My father, my mother, Mia, and myself. 4 sets of DNA. The truth was about to come out. The real game was just beginning. The DNA test results were in. I held the papers in my hand. The truth was colder than ice. I shared no blood with Mr. Zhu. I shared no blood with Dr. White. Mia was indeed Dr. White's daughter, but she was not Mr. Zhu's child. This family was a house of cards. It was all a lie. My father was a cuckold. My mother was a cheater, and I was just an outsider. Dinner that night was a show. Mia gorged herself on expensive seafood. She looked like a greedy vulture. Grandma Beatrice cooed over her. "Eat as much as you want," she said. Daphne just poked at her rice. She had no taste for their wealth. Mia sneered at my simple meal. "You do not know how to live," she mocked. I ignored her pathetic attempts to provoke me. I was busy observing their decay. I visited Nurse Zhou the next day. I brought her a banner of appreciation. She was surprised and touched. We talked for a long time. She told me that many kids are sick. Not physically, but mentally. They are sick because their parents are poison. She gave me 2 fresh apples. "Be strong," she told me softly. "Get into a good college and run." Her kindness felt like a lifeline. I was not alone in this world. I returned home that afternoon. The house was heavy with tension. I went to the bathroom upstairs. I passed the master bedroom. The door was cracked open. I heard voices inside. It was Mr. Zhu and Dr. White. I wanted to get rid of Daphne, he said. You kept stopping me, he argued. White spoke in a cold, monotone voice. She has been with us for years. She is not our daughter, he snapped. White did not even flinch. Mia is not our daughter either, she whispered. Mr. Zhu sighed deeply. I knew that from the beginning. I love you. So I love your child. I was stunned. He was a willing victim. He knew everything. The next day, Mia approached me. She looked restless and angry. She wanted me out of this house. She looked at the stairs. She looked at me. Then she jumped. She threw herself down the stairs. She hit the floor with a scream. It was a pathetic performance. Grandma Beatrice rushed out, terrified. Daphne pushed her. Mia sobbed. The old woman looked at me with hate. I stood there, perfectly calm. I did not even blink. I did not run down the stairs. I took the elevator down. I walked over to Mia. She flinched when I reached out. You pushed me, she cried. I looked down at her. If I pushed you, I would have done it properly. I said it with a cold smile. You want to lie on the floor? Go ahead and freeze. I grabbed her leg. She screamed in pure agony. I pressed a nerve point hard. I made sure the pain was real. The doctors would find a fracture, but they would never find a bruise from me. The game had just begun. Mia lay on the floor. She gripped her leg in agony. She wailed for help. Her performance was Academy Award level, but her leg was truly broken. Her dancing dream was dead. She did not care. She only wanted me destroyed. She looked at me with hate. She thought she had won. Mr. Zhu and Dr. White rushed in. They looked tense. They looked annoyed. They did not care about the drama. They just wanted silence. Mia screamed that I pushed her. She begged them to kick me out. I stood in the corner. I did not panic. I did not argue. I simply watched. We went to the hospital. Mia underwent surgery. She would survive, but she would never dance again. She was ecstatic. She thought the price was worth it. She thought I was finally leaving. She was right. The parents had made their choice. I was being discarded. Dr. White stood by the bed. She looked beautiful and cold. She looked like a painting. Mia looked up at her mother. She expected comfort. She expected validation. She got a reality check instead. Do you know about the cameras? White asked. Mia froze. She had no idea. Mr. Zhu had installed them. He did not trust the grandmother. He did not trust the help. He watched everything from his office. Mia went pale. The fall was caught on tape. But that was not all. White spoke with icy precision. Daphne has a phobia of stairs. She always takes the elevator. Mia realized the truth. She was not a victim. She was a fool. Mia tried to argue. She said I threatened her. White cut her off. You are acting like a savage. You raise your voice. You lack grace. You lack self-control. You are everything I despise. Mia burst into tears. She was not the perfect princess, she thought. She was just a spoiled brat. She bought expensive things. She ate junk food. She acted like a peasant with money. White did not sugarcoat it. She dissected Mia in front of everyone. The pain on Mia's face was real. The humiliation was even worse. She wanted a mother's love. She got a critic instead. I watched it all. I felt nothing. I packed my bags. I took very little. Most of the things in that room were lies. I did not need them. I did not need the Zhu family. I was leaving. The house was quiet. The game was over. But my journey was just beginning. The driver handed me a debit card, $10,000 inside. It was a severance package. A clean break from the Zhu family. I took it without hesitation. I did not need their charity anymore. The Zhu mansion was in my rearview mirror. My biological home was a shock. It was cramped. It was cluttered. The apartment smelled of grease and stale air. My room was barely a storage closet. It was filthy and damp, but I did not complain. I did not look back. I was a ghost in this house. I spent my days at school. I spent my nights studying. I was building a future. My parents were hard workers. They sold street food for a living. They worked 12 hours a day. The food was greasy and bland. It was a dead end. I decided to change the game. I bought a commercial dough mixer. I created a better recipe. I dragged them to the store. We started selling fresh egg pancakes. The quality was superior. The profit margins skyrocketed. The business finally had a pulse. One day, Mia showed up. She found me at the food store. She looked restless and desperate. Her eyes were wild. She grabbed my arm. She wanted to talk. I turned off the griddle. "What do you want?" I asked. She did not hesitate. She wanted to know about the past. She wanted to know about the study abroad scheme. She was scared of being sent away. She wanted my secrets. She wanted to know how to fight back. She looked at me like I was her only hope. She was terrified of leaving her lifestyle. She was scared of the unknown. I looked at the girl who stole my life. She was still just a child. She was playing a game she did not understand. And I was ready to win. Mia realized her life was a lie the moment she looked at her travel documents. Her peers were leaving for university with everything planned out. Their parents were moving with them. They had traveled abroad for years. They spoke the language perfectly. Mia had absolutely nothing. No support, no language skills, and no plan. Moving abroad was supposed to be a luxury. Now, it felt like a prison sentence. She hated the idea, but her mother, Diana, was relentless. Diana insisted this was about becoming independent. Mia turned to her mother with fire in her eyes. Why was Danny allowed to stay? Why did Danny get the sympathy, but she got the boot? Diana gave her a cold, empty look. Danny was just a child back then, she said. Mia sensed a hidden secret. She knew she had to find Danny. She found Danny and demanded the truth about her past. Danny looked at her with piercing, calm eyes. "You could never pull off what I did," Danny said. Danny confessed. She had developed a fear of heights. It was not a natural fear. It was a scar from a desperate act years ago. When her parents tried to force her to leave, she fought back. She stood on the ledge and threatened to jump. She did not die, but the fear of heights stayed with her forever. Mia froze in shock. The girl she hated had actually risked her life to stay. Mia thought about faking a suicide attempt herself. She had faked a fall down the stairs before, but she was too terrified to actually risk real pain. Mia was not brave enough to destroy herself for her freedom. She left the house with a bitter taste in her mouth. She handed Danny $2,000 for her parents. It was a transaction, not an act of love. Danny knew Mia had not been practicing her dancing lately. The lie was clear in every step Mia took. Back at school, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The final exams were approaching. Willow, a classmate, was a nervous wreck. She was failing and miserable. Jace, her secret boyfriend, tried to reach her through Danny. He sent food and a letter to win Willow back. It was high school melodrama at its finest. Willow and Jace were the center of attention. They were everywhere, singing songs and holding hands. Teachers were furious, but their parents were even worse. Willow's mother was cold and uncaring. She was tired of her daughter's constant drama. Jace's parents tried to control the situation with bribes. They planned a trip to Hawaii to distract their son. Meanwhile, Danny focused only on her future. She tuned out the noise of teen romance and broken families. The exams finally arrived. Danny felt ready. She checked into a quiet hotel near the testing center. She needed to focus and sleep. When the exams were over, the silence was deafening. Her biological mother, Martha, finally called. She did not care about the exams. She was only worried about the rent and her son's future. Martha needed money, and she looked to Danny to provide it. Danny promised to find a job and support herself. She was finally cutting the cord. She did not care if they were disappointed. She did not care about the family dynamics anymore. At the graduation party, things turned sour. The students were singing karaoke and having fun. Jace tried to sing a duet with Willow. Willow was too shy to speak. She froze under the gaze of her classmates. She was overwhelmed and insecure. The party continued without them. The bond between the students was already breaking. They were moving on to different lives. Danny watched them, feeling completely detached. She was ready to leave this town behind forever. The real world was waiting, and she was finally free to conquer it. Role mapping table. Danny, the calm, calculated protagonist. Willow, the overly emotional and insecure classmate. Jason, the popular student and Willow's boyfriend. Mrs. Bennet, Jason's wealthy and controlling mother. Script. Start. He was the golden boy of the school, the top student with a perfect future. Then, he threw it all away. He sabotaged his own exam scores on purpose, all for a girl who was drowning in her own drama. And now, his mother is coming to collect the bill. Willow cried in the bathroom. Her eyes were red and puffy. She was a master of playing the victim. Jason always fell for it. He thought she was just a fragile flower. He wanted to be her hero. Danny followed her into the restroom. She was tired of the theatrics. She told Willow to leave if she was not happy, but Willow refused. She loved the attention too much. She loved the feeling of being protected. Danny walked back into the karaoke room. Suddenly, the music stopped. The door burst open. A woman in expensive designer clothes stood there. It was Mrs. Bennet, Jason's mother. She looked furious. Her eyes were cold as ice. She did not care about the party. She was there for one reason: to drag her son home. Jason tried to shield Willow. He tried to pretend everything was normal, but his mother was not fooled. She cornered the group. She demanded to see the girl who had ruined her son. Willow fled the room in terror. She could not face the anger. Danny stood her ground. She was the only one not afraid. Mrs. Bennet glared at her. She grabbed Danny by the arm. She dragged her out to the parking lot. They sat in the luxury car. The silence was suffocating. Danny asked if they were going to talk or drive. Mrs. Bennet slammed her hand against the steering wheel. She was shaking with rage. She looked at Danny. She looked at the girl who kept her composure. The girl who had aced the exams. The girl who was actually rational. She looked at Danny and whispered one sentence. A sentence that changed the entire situation. Why did she say that? Did she know the truth about the exam sabotage? What did Jason do that ruined his future forever? The truth is about to be revealed. If you want to know what happens next, hit that like button and subscribe for the next episode.